What's up, guys? I'm Felix, founder here at Stack Optimize. We are a premium GTM engineering agency sending more than 1 million hyper-personalized, high-quality cold emails every single month on behalf of some of the best B2B businesses in the world. Today, I'm going to be breaking down how we are thinking about multi-channel campaigns when we are working with clients that are sending across both email and LinkedIn, and how we're orchestrating and executing these campaigns inside of Clay. So I'm going to jump into a Clay workbook here. This workbook was put together by our fantastic GTME Zara on behalf of one of her clients. And this client is doing some very high volume email and LinkedIn outreach. So this is how we are thinking about putting these types of campaigns together. Now, if you've watched some of our previous videos, you'll know that the first table in any Clay workbook we build is devoted entirely for qualification. A couple of reasons for this. Firstly, qualification can require quite a lot of columns. We want to qualify that it is the right type of persona, that it's the right type of business. We want to run a significant email waterfall to find the email address and validate it. And then we might want to segment these leads to specific campaigns at a later stage of the build. So we always devote an entire table just for qualification so that we then have 3 columns in our latter tables to build out workflows as complex as we need them to be. So in this case, we have a table in which we are doing some standard qualification here. In this column, we are just checking that the individuals that we have pulled into our table are actually the right type of seniority level. We usually scrape leads from either Apollo or LinkedIn. We also scrape from many other databases, but when we're doing big people searches like this, those are our go-to databases. And whenever we're building searches of heads of marketing or heads of sales or founders, CEOs, we're always going to pull in some leads that aren't quite what we're looking for, especially when we're working with lists this size, in this case, 24,000. So we just want to confirm that these are actually the right types of job titles that we can reach out to. In this case, in our table, we were looking to reach out to founders, CEOs, owners, CFOs, et cetera, et cetera. What we don't want is like executive assistant to the CEO or head of staff to the CEO, something like this. So once we have done the qualification check around the job title and seniority, we are then pushing these leads through to the next stage of qualification. We're doing a few bits here. This is a common qualification step we do. Again, we are just checking that it's the right type of industry. In this case, our client could only sell to a handful of different industries. When we build our lists in Apollo, we can apply some industry categorization by using Apollo's industry filters. We can also use keyword filters to narrow that list down further and make it more precise. But we want to add an extra layer of qualification inside of Clay here to really make sure these are actually the right types of businesses from the right types of industries that we want to be contacting. Now, once we've done that, we then check to see if the lead is in the block list. We, of course, have also uploaded the block list to Smart Lead. This is just like a fail-safe check to make sure nothing creeps through. This list also includes all of the leads that have already replied to us in previous campaigns. So we've set this automation up for every single client that we bring on. Anytime a client generates any kind of reply from a prospect, that lead is automatically added to a Clay master block list table, because we don't want to be reaching out to the same people that have already replied to us 2 or 3 months ago, which is certainly possible because when we're working with clients, we are working our way through their entire total addressable market once every 3 months. So it's pretty common for us to be reaching out to the same people on a quarterly basis. What we don't want to do is contact those people again that have already replied. This column here is going to check that table to make sure these people don't exist there. Moving along the table then, we are next up running our email waterfall. So in this case, we've scraped a bunch of emails already from Apollo. We're just validating that they are valid emails, first in Reune, then in Bounce Ban. If we don't get a hit, we move on to check ICPs, same process with validation, and then same again with Prospio. And this is where it gets interesting. So now we have a list of 24,000 leads, and we want to split this outreach across both email and LinkedIn. Now, I always say, in an ideal world, there's no reason why you wouldn't hit every prospect over every channel if you have the means to do it. So if you have a TAM of 1,000 prospects, then absolutely you want to be emailing every single one of them, sending LinkedIn DMs to every single one, cold calling, WhatsApp DMs, Insta DMs, anywhere you can find those people, you want to be messaging them. Now, in the case of this client, where they have a TAM of well over 300,000 prospects, sending emails and LinkedIn DMs to every single one, while possible, would require a significant infrastructure build. I mean, we would need a lot of LinkedIn avatar profiles in order to facilitate that. And right now, we have enough LinkedIn avatar profiles to send 2,000 LinkedIn connects per month for this client. And we have enough inboxes to send 90,000 emails per month. So we need to think that, it's not realistic for us to be able to hit every single prospect over both email and LinkedIn. We need to figure out how we are going to divide this up. And the way we do this is, it's really simple. For those leads where we find a valid email for, we are then pushing them to our email campaign. So that's what this column is doing here. It's pushing all of the leads for which we find a valid email to the next table, which is Smart Lead campaigns. All of the leads are going through the copywriting process and then are being pushed to Smart Lead campaigns. For those leads where we don't find valid emails, we are then pushing those leads to our LinkedIn campaigns in Get Sales, and that is all handled in this third table here. Now, there's one really important thing that you need to make sure you are doing when you are approaching multi-channel outreach in this way. Oftentimes, when we can't find a valid email for one of these leads, it's actually because Apollo has listed their current company as whatever their previous company was. And so naturally, if we're trying to find an email address for someone at a company where they no longer work, we're not going to find an email address for them. So in our third table here, when we are pushing to LinkedIn campaigns, we are also running a clay agent enrichment to visit the LinkedIn profiles of all of these people in our table and just confirm that the company name that we've pulled when we've scraped from Apollo is actually their current company. If it is, then we push them to the campaigns. If it's not, then we're going to discard them. And that is it. That is how we are managing multi-channel campaigns. It's really simple. We find it much easier and more scalable to separate both your email and LinkedIn leads and do it on the basis of whether or not you can find a valid email for your prospects. Typically, you'll be able to find about 60-70% of valid emails for any list of leads that you generate. And that's therefore a whole chunk of leads, as many as 30-40% of your TAM that you can't send emails to. These ones you want to prioritize for your LinkedIn outreach. If you want to upskill in building these automated outreach systems yourself, we have built the world's first GTM engineering course. It's going to take you from zero to hero, how to build fully automated end-to-end multi-channel campaigns with Clay, Smart Lead, and Get Sales. And if you don't have the time to do it yourself, then book a meeting with us. We can manage it for you. My calendar link will be in the description. Thanks a lot.